Welcome to our exploration of the 1995 32-cent comic strip classics, an enchanting tribute to American comics, presented through the art of stamp collecting. Let's dive into this unique aspect of pop culture and how it connects with collectors and enthusiasts alike. The Comic Strip Classics series is a significant addition to any stamp collection, showcasing beloved comic characters and celebrating the legacy of American comics. Stamps are more than just postage, they tell stories and connect us to history. First introduced on October 1, 1995, this stamp series became a hallmark of the USPS's commitment to honoring cultural history. With a printing quantity of 300 million, these stamps feature a vibrant collection showcasing the artistry from some of America's favorite comics. Each stamp is a miniature masterpiece. The art director, Carl Herman, meticulously selected original images from well-known comic strips, bringing to life the essence and charm of each character. Some notable stamps from this series include the Yellow Kid. Recognized as the founding father of the comic strip, this character captures the spirit of early American comic culture. The Yellow Kid, created by Richard F. Outco in 1895, was a lead character in the comic strip Hogan's Alley and is widely considered the first breakout star of the American Sunday comics. The character is most famous for his oversized yellow nightshirt, which often functioned as a canvas for the dialogue and political satire of the day. His immense popularity and the cutthroat competition between the newspapers that printed him led to the coining of the term, yellow journalism. Little Nemo in Slumberland. A depiction of imaginative fantasy, this design emphasizes Winsor McCay's revolutionary use of color and detail. Created by Winsor McCay in 1905, Little Nemo in Slumberland is a landmark comic strip celebrated for its breathtaking architectural detail, experimental panel layouts, and vivid use of color. The stories follow a young boy named Nemo as he travels through surreal and psychedelic dreamscapes, only to be jolted awake in the final panel of each strip. Its imaginative storytelling and technical mastery had a profound influence on the future of both animation and sequential art. Bringing Up Father. Humor and societal commentary. Created by George McManus in 1913, Bringing Up Father is a classic comic strip centered on Jiggs, an Irish immigrant who wins the lottery and struggles to adapt to his new high society life. The humor stems from the constant tug-of-war between Jiggs's desire for his old working-class habits, like eating corned beef and cabbage, and his wife Maggie's social climbing ambitions. The strip is renowned for its elegant Art Deco style and remained in syndication for an impressive 87 years. The Katzajammer Kids. Stories of mischievous pranks. Debuting in 1897 by Rudolph Dirks, The Katzajammer Kids is the longest-running comic strip in history and was heavily inspired by the mischievous German characters Max and Moritz. The strip follows the rebellious twins Hans and Fritz, who constantly prank their mother, Mama, and the authority figures Captain and Inspector. It played a pivotal role in the evolution of the medium by being the first to consistently use speech balloons to express character dialogue. Crazy Cat. A surreal masterpiece of unrequited love and shifting desert landscapes where a brick to the head is always mistaken for a blessing. Created by George Harriman in 1913, Crazy Cat is widely regarded as one of the most artistic and intellectually sophisticated comic strips ever produced. The surreal plot centers on a strange love triangle. Crazy Cat loves Ignatz Mouse, who expresses his disdain by throwing bricks at Crazy's head, which the cat blissfully misinterprets as signs of affection. Set against the shifting, dreamlike backdrops of Coconino County, the strip was beloved by intellectuals and artists for its poetic language and avant-garde visual style. Rube Goldberg's Inventions. The ultimate celebration of over-engineering, where a 20-step chain reaction is the only logical way to accomplish a one-step task. Rube Goldberg was a Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist famous for his inventions. series, which depicted incredibly complex contraptions designed to perform simple tasks through a convoluted chain reaction. These satirical diagrams, such as the self-operating napkin, shown on the stamp, used a series of levers, pulleys, and often live animals to mock the over-engineering of modern life. His legacy is so enduring that the term, Rube Goldberg machine, is now officially in the Merriam-Webster dictionary to describe any unnecessarily complicated system. Toonerville Folks. A nostalgic ride on the rickety trolley through a town of eccentric locals, where the commute is unpredictable and the skipper is always one detour away from disaster. Created by Fontaine Fox in 1908, Toonerville Folks was one of the most popular single-panel gag strips of its era, eventually appearing in over 300 newspapers. The strip focused on the suburban eccentricities of a fictional town, most notably the rickety Toonerville trolley that meets all the trains, and its cranky skipper. Its influence on American culture was so significant that the term, Toonerville, became a common shorthand for any broken-down or makeshift transportation system. Gasoline Alley. A gentle, pioneering saga of family life that broke the comic mold by allowing its characters to age in real time across a century of Sunday drives. Created by Frank King in 1918, Gasoline Alley is historically significant for being one of the first comic strips where the characters age in real time, allowing readers to watch the protagonist Skeezix grow from a foundling infant to an elderly man. Originally started as a strip about automobile enthusiasts, it evolved into a multi-generational family soap opera renowned for its gentle humor and innovative, artistic Sunday pages. Still in publication today, it holds the record for the second longest-running comic strip in American history. Barney Google. A sports-mad high roller whose googly eyes are always fixed on the next big bet, usually riding on the back of his blanket wearing Nag, Sparkplug. Created by Billy DeBeck in 1919, Barney Google follows the misadventures of a cigar-chomping, sports-obsessed little man and his beloved, blanket-covered racehorse, Sparkplug. The strip was a massive cultural phenomenon, inspiring a hit song, Barney Google with the googly eyes, and introducing several popular slang terms into the English language. In 1934, the strip shifted focus to the mountains when Barney met a hillbilly named Snuffy Smith, who eventually took over as the lead character of the long-running series. Little Orphan Annie. A resilient, blank-eyed optimist who navigates a world of crooks and tycoons with nothing but a red dress, her faithful dog Sandy, and the unwavering backup of Daddy Warbucks. Debuting in 1924 by Harold Gray, Little Orphan Annie follows the adventures of a plucky, red-haired girl, her faithful dog Sandy, and her wealthy benefactor, Daddy Warbucks. The strip was notable for its distinct artistic style, characterized by the characters' blank white eyes, and for using its storylines to promote conservative political philosophies and a strong work ethic. Beyond the funny pages, the series became a massive media franchise, inspiring a long-running radio show and the iconic Broadway musical Annie. Thimble Theater starring Popeye, a spinach-fueled sailor with a gravelly voice and a heart of gold, who proves that being strong to the finish is just one can of greens away. Created by E.C. Seeger, Popeye first appeared in 1929 as a minor character in the existing strip Thimble Theater, but he quickly became so popular that he took over the series. The spinach-eating sailor is famous for his superhuman strength, his mumbling speech, and his eternal quest to protect his sweetheart, Olive Oyl, from the brutish Bluto. The strip's success launched a massive media franchise and even led to a real-world surge in spinach consumption during the Great Depression. Blondie. A timeless domestic comedy centered on a suburban couple, where Dagwood's daily life is a whirlwind of colliding with the mailman, napping on the sofa, and constructing impossible, sky-high sandwiches. Created by Sheik Young in 1930, Blondie follows the domestic life of Blondie Boopadoop and her sandwich-loving husband, Dagwood Bumstead, after he was disinherited for marrying beneath his social class. The strip is famous for its relatable humor centered on marriage, office life, and Dagwood's iconic, multi-layered, Dagwood sandwich. It remains one of the most widely read comic strips in the world, having successfully evolved from a jazz-age flapper comedy into a timeless family sitcom. Dick Tracy. A square-jawed detective in a yellow fedora who uses high-tech gadgets and a two-way wrist radio to take down a colorful rogues gallery of grotesque criminals. Debuting in 1931 by Chester Gould, Dick Tracy is a hard-hitting police procedural comic strip famous for its square-jawed detective and a colorful, rogues gallery of grotesque villains like Flattop and Pruneface. The strip was a pioneer in depicting forensic science and advanced technology, most notably Tracy's iconic two-way wrist radio, which debuted in 1946, and later evolved into the wrist TV shown on the stamp. Its gritty realism and stark, high-contrast artistic style made it a cornerstone of the crime genre, influencing countless detective stories across film and literature. Alley-oop. A time-traveling caveman from the Kingdom of Mu who splits his time between brawling with dinosaurs and exploring history via a 20th-century time machine. Created by V.T. Hamlin in 1932, Alley-oop features a barrel-chested caveman who lives in the prehistoric Kingdom of Mu and famously rides his pet dinosaur, Dinny. The strip took a major narrative turn in 1939 with the introduction of a time machine, allowing the protagonist to travel to various historical eras and interact with famous figures. Blending adventure, humor, and science fiction, the series became a cultural staple and even inspired a #1 hit song on the Billboard charts in 1960. Nancy. A time-traveling caveman from the Kingdom of Mu who splits his time between brawling with dinosaurs and exploring history via a 20th-century time machine. Created by Ernie Bushmiller in 1933, Nancy centers on the daily life of a precocious, frizzy-haired young girl and her streetwise best friend, Sluggo Smith. The strip is legendary among cartoonists for its minimalist, gag-a-day structure and perfect visual clarity, often described as a masterclass in comic design. While its humor is famously simple and understated, the character has seen a massive resurgence in modern pop culture, celebrated for its surrealist undertones and iconic, postmodern aesthetic. Flash Gordon. A dashing space adventurer who defends Earth from the planet Mongo, battling the tyrannical Ming the Merciless across a beautifully illustrated, high-stakes galactic frontier. Debuted in 1934 by Alex Raymond, Flash Gordon was a space opera created to compete with Buck Rogers, quickly surpassing it thanks to Raymond's virtuosic, classically inspired illustration style. The strip follows the titular hero, a polo player and Yale graduate, as he travels to the planet Mongo to battle the tyrannical Ming the Merciless alongside Dale Arden and Dr. Hans Zarkon. Its grand, cinematic visuals and high-stakes adventure had an immeasurable impact on the science fiction genre, directly inspiring future icons like Star Wars. Lil Abner. A satirical look at the hillbilly inhabitants of Dogpatch, where the hulking yet gullible Abner Yoakum spends his days dodging work and the romantic pursuits of the beautiful Daisy May. Created by Al Capp in 1934, Lil Abner is a satirical comic strip set in the impoverished mountain village of Dogpatch, following the life of its muscular but naive hero, Abner Yoakum. The strip became a cultural powerhouse known for its sharp political commentary and for introducing enduring concepts like Sadie Hawkins' Day, where women famously chased eligible bachelors. Beyond its biting social parody, the series featured a memorable cast of characters, including the beautiful Daisy May and the Shmoo, a creature that provided for all of humanity's needs, cementing its place as one of the most influential strips in American history. Terry and the Pirates. An action-packed adventure that matured from a search for lost treasure into a cinematic epic of wartime intrigue, led by a young hero who grows up right before the reader's eyes. Created by Milton Caniff in 1934, Terry and the Pirates is hailed as one of the most influential adventure strips for its sophisticated use of chiaroscuro, dramatic light and shadow, and its cinematic narrative pacing. The story originally followed young Terry Lee and his mentor Pat Ryan on a search for a hidden mine in China, but it evolved into a gritty, realistic war drama as Terry grew up and joined the Air Force during World War II. The strip's nuanced characterizations, particularly the iconic and dangerous Dragon Lady, set a new standard for maturity and realism in the comic medium. Prince Valiant. A breathtaking Arthurian epic renowned for its lush, illustrative detail, following a Nordic prince's journey from exile to the Round Table. Created by Hal Foster in 1937, Prince Valiant in the days of King Arthur is world-renowned for its realistic, classically influenced illustration style and its abandonment of speech bubbles in favor of narrative captions. The epic follows a Nordic prince's life journey through a meticulously detailed medieval world, blending historical fiction with Arthurian legend as he ages from a boy to a knight. Its cinematic scope and technical mastery made it a pinnacle of the adventure genre, directly influencing the look and feel of future fantasy and superhero comics. Brenda Starr, reporter. A glamorous, red-haired investigative journalist who balances high-stakes global scoops with a dramatic personal life and the elusive mystery of her Basil St. John. Created by Dale Messick in 1940, Brenda Starr, reporter broke new ground as one of the first major adventure strips created by a woman, featuring a glamorous, red-haired investigative journalist who traveled the globe. The strip was famous for its high-fashion aesthetic and its long-running romantic mystery involving the elusive, patch-eyed Basil St. John. Over its 70-year run, Brenda became a symbol of female independence and career-driven ambition, paving the way for more sophisticated female protagonists in the world of comics. As collectors, the significance of these stamps adds value of nostalgia and historical representation to any collection. The artistry on these stamps is not only visually appealing, it serves as a conversation starter for collectors and enthusiasts. They hold a special place in promoting the history of American comics, celebrating the creativity that has provided joy for generations. In summary, the 1995 32-cent comic strip classics stamps are more than mere collectibles. They encapsulate a celebration of American culture and history, offering a glimpse into the rich legacy of comic artistry. Join our community of stamp collectors and enthusiasts today. Start your comic strip classics collection and relish in this unique aspect of artistry and heritage. Remember, each stamp is not just a piece of paper, it's a window into the past, representing the creativity and joy brought to life by our favorite comic characters. Happy collecting! Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.